Hello, friends. It's time for, I guess it's lesson 6, and here it comes. Trying to do a couple of effects here. All right, what we have here is the big news is that I have rendered this chart to a kind of a fretboard situation. This is a quasi fretboard. This is a bogus chart, but it is very important. It's a reminder, you know. Um, it's like if Einstein wanted to remember his formula, he could write E naught equals mc squared. But he knows what he's talking about. Well, this holds these notes A, D, C, A, D, G, C, E, A. Does that sound familiar? Those are the notes, but those are cage shapes. These are caged shapes. Okay, here's the cage shapes. Excuse me. Here's the cage shapes. All right, C A G E D. And the notes that we've got here are A, D, G, C, E. Okay, those are the notes. Now, I'm going to show you that what I just played is right here, starting on this blue note. Okay, A, D, G, C, E, D. Okay. Well, what's wonderful about this chart, this one right here, is that I lined it up so that these cage shapes, these are parent cage shapes, but it starts on the A shape, okay? And it's called the A-tuned or finger-barred capo start cage from any string chart. No matter what string you start a cage pattern from, the new pattern becomes the cage shape of the first string. That's the first or the top or the bottom string. But with the A shape, if you use the A shape, starting on the A, but actually you do an A-shaped D, okay? So what note are we looking at here? We're looking at, here's the A-shaped, but remember A, over here now, A starts on the 5th in the perfect scales. And I've drawn something like that over here, but this is only in C, so we can't use this right now. This is very nice for C, the key of C, but we're looking at, believe it or not, the key of D for a moment, because the A is the 5th of D, and A starts on the 5th. That's why there's a 5 there. That's why there's a 5 there. Now, this is a C, root C drawing. Okay, C is the root, R is the root, yellow is the root, so is these. And the 5th of root the 5th of root is the 5th of C is G. So here's C, here's G up here, okay? But what we're going to look at, believe it or not, and it took me in my sleep to do this, and then suddenly I almost fell asleep, but the key of D, okay, 1, 2, F sharp, G, A. The 5th of D is A. All right? So since, and I've been saying this all along to people that these key of C drawings, okay, this is in the key of C with the numbers, because E is the first note, but this is universal. This is just like looking at a piano keyboard. Okay? All the keys are there. It just happens to be E on the bottom. There's E. And that's the normal fretboard. Okay? B, E, and the G sharp there. And in the open strings, the B and the E and the low E. So we're going to look at D for a second, and what I'm saying is the A shape starts on the fifth. The fifth of D is the, well, I'm just playing with this. The fifth of D is A. Okay, so what I'm saying here is if I start this A shape here, as you can kind of see, let me make it a little easier. You can kind of see this A shape going on here. It's an A-shaped D. Okay, so I think it's a second inversion. I probably went a little or something. Probably like moved my pinky over onto this D here. All right. The wonderful thing about this chart that I made, and this says, for example, and this is only different on the G. Okay, caged is always the bottom string, right? I mean, caged is on the bottom of these chambers. These are diatonic scales, okay? Well, this is actually just a chamber that could be anything, you know. But when you put the numbers on it, okay, that's definitely D shape. You see the 5R3 there? We can pluck that out of, you know, the general keyboard. Now, of course, there's repeated notes, so these are chambers, okay? They're already separated. Down here, whoop, down here, I have to get used to full screen, so I have to press the control, and I can't grab the, can't grab it to see it, but it works out either way. Down here is, I went and got the warped. No, I didn't get the warped. I got the warped for the other one. Okay, I went and got the warp for the other chart here. And this is the second chart I made today. All right, so the we were looking at what? The D or something like that. Okay, we're actually going to be looking at an A-shaped D. All right. This is in the key of C. Okay, so I think we lost track of doing an example here, but this is the unwarped, this is the warped. Okay, so here's a diatonic. All right, so what we're going to play is this 5√3. This is it in C. So this is the basic shape that we're looking at. Okay, back to this. What it's saying is if I play an A-shaped D now, because A is the fifth of D, it's got to be an A shape. If I play that on the second, if I play an A-shaped D on the second string, that the pentatonic scale, okay, it goes like this. That is actually a D shape. And the way I lined this up right by the fretboard here, believe it or not, from evidence from this chart, evidently from this chart, C always goes to E, and that's a third. And I said to myself, wait a minute, that's like the tuning of a guitar. So I went ahead and lined this up with as if these were the notes in the tuning of a guitar. And so it's very easy now to look at. If you play an A-shaped D from the G string, okay, the G string, you get it becomes a G. So here I'm going to start on the G note here, the red note here. See the red note by the dot? I'm going to start on that G note and play an A. Warp. And right there, that is the G shape after all. That's the G shape after all, which is nice. Okay. So when it's lined up, it's easy to remember.